how's it going? My name is Jose Carrion. I'm a undergraduate biomedical engineering student at the University of Houston. And today I'm going to do a recommendation presentation about renewable energy resources. So let's get to it, okay? So I'm going to give a brief introduction of what are energy resources. So the most common type of energy resources are natural gas, coal, and diesel fuel. That's it. And then we have the renewable energy sources. I'm going to touch just two, which are wind and solar energy. And by solar energy, I mean solar rays. But there are a lot of different types of renewable energy resources. And in this presentation, I'm going to give you three criteria, which by the end of the presentation, I try to convince you to change between one and the other. So the three criteria will be the cost of production, the amount of electricity produced, and the availability. So let's get to it with the first one, okay? The first one, cost of production. What I mean when I say cost of production, I mean how much money it costs to build one wind turbine or one solar panel, and also how much it will be to produce a wind farm or a solar farm. And so the price of one wind turbine goes around the $200,000, and the price of one solar panel goes around $400,000. And the big difference is because if we're talking about that price in the presentation right there, both of them are producing 4,800 kilowatts per hour, which means there will be the solar panel will have to be humongous, the size of Texas. Not actually, but will need to be very big in order to compete with the turbine, because wind turbines are known to be super huge and to produce a lot of energy. So that's that. When it comes to the normal energy resources like a diesel engine, the cost goes to $9.4 million. It's a lot of money, but you have to understand that just one diesel engine costs that much, and the diesel engine produces a lot of energy. But the thing is, the price goes even higher when it comes to the emission of CO2, because industries have to develop a way of stop that amount of emission of CO2, because diesel engines go bananas about that. I mean, the emission of CO2, it's crazy, so the price goes up whenever they try to stop that stuff. While if we use renewable energy resources, there won't be a emission of CO2, or if there will be some, it won't be as bad as just having a diesel engine. So the second criteria, electricity produced. So we know that one diesel engine can give vast electricity to one city. So why the change, right? Well, in a year, let's say a wind farm yields around 120,000 megawatts, while solar farms yield around 1,200 megawatts. It's a lot of electricity, and the regular household consumes around like 800 kilowatts per hour. When it comes to the numbers, it might seem that it lasts a lot, or it should be profitable, but the fact that a diesel engine outperforms a single wind turbine because they produce 909 megawatts per hour. That's right, per hour. The thing is that if we have a lot of wind turbines, like a farm, there's of course an outperforming whenever we have a lot. So why not change? Exactly. If we have like a farm with, let's say, 10 wind turbines, we can raise that 6 to 60 megawatts. And so the multiplicity goes on and on. And so the electricity produced at the end of the day, renewable energy resources outperform the regular ones, because the more we have, the more we can surpass that number. And of course, wind turbines are not as expensive as one diesel engine. And the third one, availability. What I mean by this is, in which countries or where can we put a wind farm? And so or a solar farm, of course. And so, if we talk about a solar farm, let's talk about hot places. For example, the United States has a lot of hot places, like the West Coast is really hot. They receive a lot of solar hours. Also, Egypt receives a lot of energy of solar hours. I think it's the highest place that receives with the highest amount of hours of solar hours, right? And also Chile receives a lot of solar hours. So those three countries will be good candidates to put a solar farm inside them. And so when we talk about wind energy or wind farms, let's talk about Argentina. Let's talk about Iceland or the USA. Of course, it's also true that almost every country with access to the sea, to the ocean, can be a candidate for either one wind turbine or a wind farm, because it's known that closest to the sea, the wind starts to get a little bit like harder, or hits harder, let's say. And so, I mean, you can even houses right now. If we go to a Home Depot, there's a lot of people trying to ask you to change from regular to solar, but when they talk you into it, it's basically a combination of stuff. So that's the availability. And so my final recommendation is to make the change from normal sources like coal or diesel fuel to wind and solar. And if not, then you can make a combination. Like I was talking about earlier, in Home Depot, they ask you, oh, do you want to go solar? When they say that you want to go solar, it's not that you're gonna just leave off solar energy. No, you're gonna have your solar panels, and they're gonna install batteries. So you're gonna be generating your own electricity, and you're gonna also be using the electricity that you pay, but you're not gonna pay as much. That's the thing. And then whenever electricity runs out, since you have the battery will be absorbing all the electricity produced by the solar panels. And whenever lights go out, you'll have some lights. So I think this change from renewable to renewable resources will be very beneficial to the environment as well, because in the last few years there has been like a lot of changes to it. There has been an increase in temperature over the last 5 years, and it has been really noticeable here in Texas because it's hot as hell. So I think the change needs to be done, and if we talk about the numbers will always be beneficial to the renewable energy resources, and of course they won't run out unless we do something stupid, right? So I think that's it for me. Thank you very much for listening. So if you have any questions, drop it down below in the comments, and I hope to see you soon.